Hi everyone, it's Jane Enchantress. I'm here with the monthly reading that I've been doing since the month of May, which is a monthly twin flame reading for the collective. And I will also be going into individual sun signs. Well, you can use whatever placement of your sign. And that will be coming up next in the following readings. I'm going to go ahead and start with Aries. But this is just kind of launches us into the month of July and the kind of dynamic that's resonating between the twin flames here. I'm using this spread that I have in my little tarot book that goes with the holographic tarot. For those of you who have that tarot or purchased it and didn't get this book, just let me know and I can send you one. But if you buy that holographic tarot, then you get this book to go with it, and it has this twin flame spread. So it's basically going to be a back and forth: his feelings, her feelings, his thoughts, her thoughts, his hopes, her hopes, his actions, and her actions for the month of July. This is a collective general reading. You can definitely, if you want to, place instead of twin flame whatever other title you would like. You can place beloved, you can place future spouse, you can place soulmate, whatever you choose. But it was my intention to focus more on the twin flame relationship in general sense for the collective, to kind of dive deeper into that and to help us get through it, because it's one of the more challenging ones. Let's say, it's a big learning, growing experience. All right, so we have the divine masculine and the divine feminine. You can resonate with one or the other. It doesn't have to be male or female, but also if you're male, masculine might fit you. If you're female, feminine might fit you. But you also may be same sex or resonate with a different, side. Now, we all have the feminine and masculine within us. So this can also be like a personal journey, looking at both sides of your whole makeup, what how to balance your feminine and masculine energies. That's another way to look at it. I'm going to say he and she just to be simple, but those of you who don't resonate with those kind of pronouns, if you're binary or any other, resonate with in any other way, just try to be loose with this and see it as kind of a big picture, like your message on your two halves of your two sides, right? But most of us have a more dominant side. So in general, the females' dominant sides is the feminine side of them. And sometimes our masculine side jumps out in weird moments and kind of puts us off balance. So it is kind of good to balance both sides of your whole. All right. And then when you're in a twin flame relationship, it really is the strongest part of you, like say the feminine, really attracts strongly to the masculine in your opposite. And it just really, it's like a magnet, and it pulls you together because you feel more complete when you have that other half completing that part of you that you're missing, and so to speak. But that being said, I get this a lot. People go, I'm whole just as I am, and that's exactly true. You're completely whole just as you are. You don't actually need that to complete yourself, but it definitely does feel like an amazing experience once you come into union or reunion with that other half of yourself. So let's explore that. We have every month I decided to use a different deck for every month, and kind of matching decks, something visually matching but a little bit different. So on this side we have the Golden Universal Tarot, and on this side we have the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot to represent the feminine. And they're both have the kind of gold foil top side. All right, and then for the masculine we're going to use the Romance Angels, and for the feminine the Romantic Fairy. So let's go ahead and begin with that first. Let's see what the general feeling and vibe and energy for the divine masculine is going to be for the month of July. I think I got all the specifics out of the way. If you have any questions, definitely ask in the comment section. Okay, the masculine is all about trust for the month of July. So maybe something happened in June or in the past that shook his trust a bit. And I'm going to say his for the masculine, but just bear with me. And so the masculine has to have faith. And maybe I feel, I'm hearing this, that it's almost like the masculine is trying to find reasons not to trust, like to jump at every little small conclusion and every little thing, to jump into a conclusion and say, oh well, this is not, can't happen because of this, like making that the reason, because they might be afraid to go through with this. They have this sense that the feminine belongs to them. They belong together, but the trust issues from past is keeping, it might be keeping them a little bit confused, I think. So let's see what the feminine is general energies for the feminine in the month of July. I'm having messages here for the masculine that he's actually going to start trusting, that the trust is going to come back, and he's going to realize who he can trust and who he can't trust, right? It's confusing sometimes. I think sometimes people go through this bit of illusion when people present false information, and I think that's might have happened to the masculine here. Somebody gave him some false information. Now the feminine is manifesting the one. Very soon your true love will arrive. So I think the feminine here is just trying to stay very optimistic despite everything that they've been through thus far. She's pushing down, well, I don't see her pushing it down. I see her healing it. I see her really facing it, acknowledging it, and integrating it into her experiences, and still staying optimistic. And that's a really good thing. It's very brave, actually. So, and the manifesting is happening between the both of them. So she's manifesting the one, and that could be your reading. You could be like, maybe you don't like the title Twin Flame, but maybe you like the one. So that could be what you've come here for the collective, the one reading. And you're manifesting it, or the feminine here is manifesting that her counterpart, and they're arriving. So the arrival could come in different ways. It could be a physical arrival, it could be a reaching out of some sort, it could be an acknowledgement, like an inner, suddenly a faith, so maybe there's both this faith on both sides saying, ha, yes, an aha moment, like, oh, all this time I was trying to push away that thought that you're the one, but now I know you're the one. So that could be on both sides happening here. Okay, so let's get into this reading. All right, so on the masculine side, we're going to start with, what are his feelings towards the feminine? Let me just, I don't know, we'll put it like that. Okay. Towards the feminine in the month of July. These are a little stiff. I gilded them, and then I just made a mess of the cards. So my recommendation is, don't gild this type of deck, the paper kind. I think it's better if it has sort of a glossy finish. It's a little better. Okay. Let's see what we got for the masculine. His feelings. Ooh. Okay. You've got a king here. You got the King of Cups. His feelings are very, very loving. He's got a lot of love here. It's interesting. You have the ship in the background. This is one of those cards, and a dolphin, and presenting the ship, and he's holding some kind of pillar. And he's kind of like a Neptune god here, definitely a lot of water. It's almost like he's coming at you with so much emotion, you know, or he's just like a bundle of nerves, a bundle of excitement. His feelings are very, very intense and very emotional. Very emotional. And it could represent too water signs out there, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And this deck in particular, the king is talking about a protector and moral, a more moral type of stance, and also having favors, like creative qualities, and having favors, giving favors, like generosity. I just noticed these little sparkles here, and I thought you'd like to see them. They're so pretty. Okay. All right, so let's see now on the feminine side, what's going on here? What are her feelings? What are the feminine's feelings towards her divine masculine in the month of July? Let's see. What are her feelings? We had an almost flipper. Well, I'll take it. She's feeling very eager. She wants to take action. Her feelings are, they're very like, oh, she's got the fire feeling, like, I want to talk to you, I want to communicate, I have so much to say, I have a lot I want to do, I want to move, I want to go, I want to the feminine here really wants to have action, and she's really tapping into her masculine energy. It's almost like the masculine is tapping into his feminine energy with all these emotions and feelings, being almost, I know the king is a good sign, but it almost feels bottled up in a sense, because they're just sitting there, they're not moving, they're actually being in the receptive mode, and the feminine here wants to be in the action mode, in the giving mode, in the sending mode. All right, what are his thoughts? What are the divine masculine's thoughts in the month of July towards his divine feminine? Also, before I continue, I just wanted to mention, in the month of June, I talked about a dream that I had, and I had just the night before. And this month also, I had a really interesting dream. So 2 nights ago, I don't know if you guys, some of you know about my kitties. I have two new kittens. One's a little older, and one's a little baby kitten. And the baby kitten's not growing so fast, but he's doing really good. I call him Yoda anyway. But Kiki is the other kitten, and she's doing great. She's had some little bumps here and there, but but she just had a scheduled appointment to go get her vaccination, and then in the evening she had an allergic reaction, so she was feeling really sick. And man, I could not sleep, and I had such an upset stomach, and I was trying to really visualize happy outcomes, feeling good, but I could not stop the stinking stomach, the sinking feeling in my stomach that kept trying to go down, and just made me feel sick, and I couldn't sleep. And while I was tossing and turning, I visualized my twin flame as well. As like, while I'm trying to visualize good things, I'll visualize my twin flame, and there he was, and it was almost like he was giving me comfort in a way. And he looked like he had been crying. His eyes were red, but maybe not. Maybe, and he not communicating verbally, but it seemed like he was just sitting there in a car with me. I don't know whose car it was, and just looking at me, and just kind of being supportive. And so it was kind of nice, at least, to see him there. And those kinds of clues and things will help you along the way too on this journey. So let's see, what are his thoughts? Okay, and his thoughts are all on his, wow, and you got the king and queen. Yay. So his thoughts are that, his thoughts are all on the divine feminine, his counterpart, he has so much love and so much emotion for her. It's crazy. And this could represent water signs out there. So definitely a strong water connection here. But it's not just about water signs. I feel like it's tons of emotion. The emotion that they share is amazing. Um, so, and as far as this deck is concerned, this represents the wife, the lover. She represents loyalty and an honest friend, advice and clairvoyance, and understanding and sensitivity. So these could all be qualities that the feminine here possesses, and that's he can't keep his mind off. So it kind of goes good with the trust card because his thoughts are that she's loyal, and that's good. That's a really good thought to have. Stay with that, you masculines. All right, let's see what her thoughts are towards her divine masculine in the month of July. Okay, let's see what these are. Ooh, you got the sun. All right, so I think this is kind of good. Like, this is kind of like a lack mentality. It's almost like the sun is taking place of lack mentality, kind of like what happened to me in my dreams, or in my upset night. I just said, that's it. I'm not going to visualize. I'm not going to let the sad thoughts creep in. I'm going to visualize happiness. So and that's so funny because I was re-listened to the month of June, and when the sun came out there, it came out in hopes. And I remember saying, it's better when the sun comes out in thoughts because that's you manifesting. And see, manifesting. So her thoughts are, she's using her, the feminine, really using her mental capacity for manifesting and bringing in joy and happiness, and just keeping focused on that, because that is the best thing to keep your thoughts on. So thoughts on attracting that which she truly wants. This is the benevolent sun is shining upon a jubilant child holding a red banner. So red could be a major color for you. And this is the soul's liberation. This is like a life force radiating over the whole scene, like, wow. And the feminine's really focusing on bringing in glorious positivity and goodness, growth, delight, and joy. Beautiful. All right, so let's see what the masculine's hopes are in the month of July towards his divine feminine. What are the masculine's hopes? Wow, the masculine also has the Eight of Wands. So he's like, yes, I do want to reach out to you as well. I do. I want to reach out to you. And that's kind of like my desire, is maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle. You can come halfway to me and I'll go halfway to you, something like that. But there's going to be a lot of communicating going on. And funny too, because Mercury's going direct, and so now the communication's becoming more direct. It's not this confusing energy that some of you might have had, or this indirect communication, or this regressive communication. It's going to be now a lot of more forward communication, clarity. And by the way, I just watched Gregory Scott, who's to me a really wonderful reader, tarot reader, and astrologer, and he was talking a little bit about that too, like how with Mercury going direct, it's really going to help our communication. And so right before, like these transition phases, just kind of be on the lookout on how you say things, and not to take things too out of context, or don't get too excited, because some things still are going to be extremely clear, but things are getting better. In general too, this is like a speed, like a need to move fast, and yeah, it's focusing on a goal, like really moving towards a particular goal. And for the feminines, It's kind of, I mean, it's exactly the same thing. It's goal oriented. I'm curious how they describe it in this book. This book is kind of sweet. A flight of wands rushes to earth, disturbing an otherwise tranquil landscape. This is some kind of message coming, okay? And something is changing. And wait for further information before proceeding or responding. Okay, interesting. All right, so let's see now. What are the divine feminines? Oh, I'm going to stick this because I think she's actually going to stop thinking that way. Let's see what that could be. Her fears, though. I definitely, you know. Okay, so let's see what her hopes are. I don't have a pile for fears, but I think fears pops out sometimes. All right, what are the divine feminine's hopes towards her masculine in the month of July? We've got the Queen of Pentacles. So her hopes here are a feeling of being stable and comfortable and serene in her environment, like being, just she's the queen over here. Like, he's seeing her as the Queen of Cups, and that's great. But she also wants to be seen as the Queen of Pentacles, because the Queen of Pentacles is just yet another dynamic of her. She wants him to know that she's also can be practical. She's emotional, yes, and sensitive, but she's also practical. So this could be somebody like me, who's Scorpio with a moon in Virgo or something like that, with a little, maybe you come, or a rising sign that's water, but you're actually, your sun sign or your moon sign is an earth sign, and yeah, maybe they think you're a very emotional person, and that's okay, but you're also very practical. So she also likes to give advice, and she's coming up with solutions. So her hopes for herself is that she can find a solution and they can find a solution together. And her connection with nature is her strength. So that is how she stays grounded. Doing earthing and work like that will help her find the solutions that she's looking for. So she definitely loves to share and protect. Yeah, so they both have the protective energy, and both have the sharing, giving, generous energy here too. So they definitely are twins, very mirroring each other. So let's see what the divine masculine's actions towards this divine feminine is going to be in the month of July. All right, we have the High Priestess. So even though there's this desire to head towards the feminine, there still could be more of the mental telepathy going on. So there's a deep intuition happening here, a deep knowing. The good news is there's a deep knowing going on here, like, yes, you are the one. So that's real important, because if you don't establish that, then any action could seem sort of weird and frivolous and unmeaningful. But the fact that both sides have established that, yes, you are the one, then I think then maybe the masculine will go into study more about the occult and the secrets and the mysteries and the threshold between the material and the spiritual world and intellectual world. Like, there's a bit of more discovering these things, now that he knows, like, yeah, I think you are my counterpart. I think you are. I want to dive in deeper in all of this and figure out what should we do next? What's going to happen? Like, what do I need to do? How do I need to heal myself? Maybe he's really, really focusing on the journey now and what he needs to do in his part of it. Okay, and so let's see what the feminine is what her actions are. There you go. We got the Empress. So her actions are I have to say that I think in the general sense the feminine has been slightly more evolved than the masculine. I don't see it so, I don't know. It's the evolution is just different. So the feminine's always been a little bit more spiritually evolved, and the masculine has done his work, but through the material and through the mundane, which is just as good and fine. But I think he might be shifting a little bit and doing more spiritual work. And so maybe now the feminine is enjoying more the material, or let's say the sensual surroundings her, and really getting into the physical nature of things and pampering herself and nurturing herself and taking care of her body and taking care of her loved ones, but projecting a love, projecting a nurturing quality towards the masculine too, a very supportive energy towards the masculine. She's the embodiment of nature herself, she's about sustaining love in the earth, offering its bounty, and she's represents mothers, and there's this like mothering quality that the feminine's going to have in July. Also, I'm hearing Cancer month, the month of Cancer, and then Cancer is the natural mother also, and also some of you out there who might be Cancers are born in July. Happy birthday! And I just feel like the definitely the Cancer babies out there are going to really feel in their power and their essence, even though the Empress is Venus and represents Libra and Venus. There is that mother quality too, and it's funny because the mother quality is here too with the High Priestess. This is all the moon energy, and so there's the part of the Cancer that's in the moon, the psychic intuition and the intuitive connection and the knowledge and the secrets and book smarts. So they're very similar in what they're going to be doing. But I feel like the Empress represents just more in touch with the physical, and the High Priestess more in touch with the spiritual. So very nice. Very earthy is what the feminine's doing over here. But she's also got the same feminine intuition and vision. So it's kind of cool. Like, I think both the masculine and feminine are going to be in their feminine spiritual essence. So they might not have that same pull to attract, but they'll have sort of that oxytocin feeling, like girlfriend feeling, like I feel so good with you, like we're on the same wavelength. But the other kinds of parts of the relationship might not be there as much. That yearning necessary, which is actually might be a nice relief or a change, just to feel good with your person. Okay, so let's do some charms. All right, I think I scoot these guys up, and we'll put a little bowl here and toss some charms in. Okay, let's see what we got. So look, you got the sun, definitely. I also see, a lot of, maybe this is, because you got the feminine under the divine feminine under the sun in the month of July. So a lot of possibly sun activities, and then just enjoying the sun and nature and everything that it can give you, and just feeling joyful this month. You've got the key to each other's hearts. You have love. You have, okay, so the mermaid that loses her tail, it's kind of like a caution and saying, don't give up too much of yourself, right? You don't have to trade in your voice for legs, because your tail is just fine. You're just fine the way you are. You've got Elsa here. So Elsa is kind of connected to spirit more than the earthly things. So a little bit of spirituality. We've got a drive though, so like some short trips maybe. And look, you got water activities, parasailing, enjoying outdoors and nature. Oh look, you got the gypsy card. So let's see. This came in a little dollhouse thing. So this could be you exploring, masculine or feminine, could be exploring some other talents that you have. Maybe tarot reading, or maybe psychic, kind of intuitive channeling, something like that, something along those lines. And that'd be really cool if the masculine explored that for himself or herself. You got love and dream. You've got Archangel Gabriel. So this is really cool because Gabriel is all about announcements. And so then blowing the horn is sort of a way of saying, hi, hey, wake up. Hey. It's a wake-up call. It's awakening. Gabriel is there whenever something major happens, trying to get your attention. So be aware of, Gabriel is gonna talk to you and show you something or tell you something, give you some kind of major news. We've got play. We've got the moon. So the sun and the moon, very yin yang energy here. So yeah, we got the sun on this side and the moon on this side. I feel like definitely the feminine and masculine might be trading a little bit of their the places, but still connecting, like same and opposite. That's the way it is with twin flames. They're similar but opposite, yin yang energy. Then we have the peace. So peaceful energy, like I said, peaceful energy. Like when the masculine taps into the spiritual side, the feminine side, the feminine says, well, see how I feel. This is how I feel. I'm so glad you can relate now. You see my point of view. And that's gonna feel so good for the feminine. They're gonna feel like, yeah, see, thank you for understanding and seeing my point of view. And they're like, oh, I get it now, and I'm really learning so much. Here's Saint Dymphna. She's the patron saint for people with depression, anxiety, and those kinds of issues. So if you have those kinds of problems in your life, those kind of challenges, definitely call upon Saint Dymphna to help you get through those times. It is definitely a difficult thing, and I feel like, like it could be either masculine or feminine, but this could represent sort of the difficulties, the fears, the anxiety, the depression, and really working at it, like extremely hard manifestation there that totally flips it to the positive, which is really amazing work. Finally, we have like the anchor, so good sense of stability, and also more seaside symbols, like going to a port or a dock or somewhere. We have the little dog, so like connecting with pets and best friends and soulmates. Aries represents courageous. We have the magic wand, like sprinkling magic on everything. There's that horn that the Gabriel was blowing. So definitely twice it's come out that there's going to be some kind of announcement. And then you have the tall and beautiful giraffe. This particular giraffe is kind of funny looking, but nevertheless tall and amazing. And stand tall, no matter how different you are, stand tall. So I'm feeling called to pull something for what was it? Not the little doggy, but the giraffe. Let's see, what shall we pull? Oh, well, let's do a C melody. We'll do a C melody card for the tail, for that mermaid tail. What's going on with that mermaid tail? What's this final message that we need to hear for the collective in the month of July? Strength. Stay afloat and feel steady and calm. Very good. And so that's what the anchor is about too. It's about staying calm. Now, of course, the anchor is not about floating. So, some of it is about floating and some of it is about anchoring and just staying stationary and not and holding firm. And also just feeling steady, like, not being tossed about. That's a good feeling. Yeah, I think things are going to feel nice and steady now, and you're feeling connected. And the anchor also makes me feel like commitment too, like a nice, steady, committed feeling. I think the emotions here are just going to be on a very positive note in the month of July. A lot of joy and happiness and peace, a nice peaceful energy between the masculine and feminine. Okay, and a lot of understanding too. I think that's a really great thing. So I hope you like that. Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust. And by the way, if you like that, please subscribe and check that little fairy out. I don't know where she's hanging out, but there's a lot of subscribing buttons hanging around. There might be one at the end of this video in the end position, the little twin flame couple. Push that subscribes you. So wherever you see a subscription button, please subscribe. I would love to have you part of the Sparkles of Light community. All right, now I'm leaving.